Good afternoon. Good afternoon. So there are simple mistakes that you people make in chemistry. Number one is inability to recall simple concepts that you learned previously. So if you do not do sufficient revision from 1 mark, from 2 work, from 3 work, there's no way you'll be able to answer questions in chemistry. And that is why we find that many of you leave a lot of blank spaces in chemistry. Because if I pick your paper, I'll find that out of around 31 questions, you've only answered around 10 questions. The others you've left blank spaces. And that is because you can't recall the simple terms that you're able to learn previously. Point number 2, there is responses for description questions which are not sequential. Pick an example. You are given a question to describe the process or a procedure on how to separate a mixture of sand, sodium chloride, and iron 3 chloride. Instead of beginning with the simplest one, which is heating for iron 3 chloride to sublime, most of you are beginning with the second point, whereby you are telling us you place the mixture, you dissolve it in water, and then after dissolving it in water, you don't even stir. If you do not stir, then what happens? So you are not putting your points in a sequential way. And then number 3, we have lack of seriousness among you learners. You are not serious. You'll find that most of the papers that we do, most of these questions repeat themselves. If you pick the paper that you did in Form 3, end of year, and you pick the same paper that you did Form 4, end of Term 1, you find that most of the questions are repeated. And because they're repeated, and you people don't revise those questions, when the questions come back again, you can't be able to answer them. And it's because you are not serious. Once you do an exam, what you do, you just do away with the paper, instead of you keeping your paper in a file for revision. Then we have the next point, failure of learners to follow instructions. A question is given like this. You name a compound. Instead of you giving the name of the compound, you end up writing the formula of the compound. And instead of you writing the correct formula, you write the wrong formula. So can you make sure you follow the instructions in the paper? If you're asked to name, give the name. If it is carbon dioxide, and if carbon dioxide, and KCO2, which is the formula, no. So ensure you follow those instructions. And then we have wrong observations that you give for paper 3. You are giving wrong observations, and then when you come to the part of inference, you give the correct inference. That gives you a wrong point. The observation has to match the inference. So ensure when you are writing the inferences, you are writing the inferences for the correct observation. And then we have inability of learners to read between the lines. And this comes about when you lack understanding of simple questions. So if you do not read the question and understand the question, there's no way you give the correct answer for that particular question. And then we have wrong commitments, especially on units of measurements. The question can come with the unit of measurements. At the end of it, instead of you writing the correct unit of measurement, you end up writing the wrong unit of measurement, which is wrong. And then the next one is mathematics phobia. We have mathematics phobia. Chemistry has mathematics questions. And because you do not like mathematics, you end up leaving blank spaces for those questions. And some of those questions are very easy. So can you change your attitude towards mathematics? And then most of you are unable to write simple equations. Yes, you have been given an equation. You've been told to write an equation for the process that has occurred above. Instead of you writing the correct equation, you will write the correct symbol. And then you end up not balancing the equation and not writing the correct symbols. That gives you a penalty for that particular equation. And then lastly, mostly in organic chemistry, whereby you are given a process. Most of you can't link process 1 to process 2. So can you do maximum revision? Thank you.